we're good to start. There we go. That's how I like to start all panels, is asking. Hello everybody, and I guess as this is one of the first panels, welcome to Minecon 2015. We are FyreUK. I'm Matt.
I'm Phil.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday morning in London. It's crazy. So I'm going to press play on this, and what this panel is all going to be about is going to be talking about our amazing Minecraft time lapses. Now I say amazing, other people may use different adjectives and describing words, you know?
Yeah, there have been many words said to us.
Yeah. So the big idea basically about this panel is we're going to be talking about all of our favourite past time lapses that we've built and that we've done. You may have seen some of them in the opening ceremony. It was surprising.
Who recognises this one?
This is Red Rock. Yeah. Red Rock City. This is a pretty early one, 2011, I think. So I want to kind of take you guys on almost like a timeline tour of our journey with Minecraft and kind of talk about all things that we've done in Minecraft in kind of a really condensed hour format.
Yeah.
So we actually started coming up with the idea for this. It was sometime late 2011, I think.
Yeah, I believe we actually started planning this one to go along with the increase in height limit. Like, who remembers when they actually brought in that height change to 265? Yeah.
A long time ago.
Those people knew the burdens of actually having to build beyond bedrock. So we actually had to, when we were designing it, the main rock in the middle, we actually had in two big sections that we had to copy over using World Edit, and I think it was, it crashed the server 5?
Yeah, I crashed it so many times doing that.
And we almost lost the entire server?
Yeah, and that's the things you have to deal with Minecraft is all these like little annoying niggles just to make something work and look really, really cool. Yeah. It's interesting looking back at this because again, this is very much a red and orange palette. So when we move on to the other videos that we're going to be talking about is everything kind of changes. So this is the only time that we've done that looks like this.
Yeah, we tried to make sure it had a very unique feel to it, sort of like a Western Canyon sort of feel, but at the same time kind of like a bit of an Aztec feel. We kind of revisited a little bit with one of our parkour maps that we did, Desolate Descent.
Yeah, and I guess in a way, Remnant as well, one of our Hunger Games maps is kind of ruined and kind of Aztec-y, but kind of much more green than this is kind of very dry.
But we played around with a lot of the sort of clay blocks and we used quite a lot of custom textures on this just to kind of...
This is DokuCraft, right?
Yeah.
We always use DokuCraft.
Most of I think actually all of our time lapses, bar the ones that we have with block by block and any sort of other Mojang collaborative projects are all done through DokuCraft. And we've actually been really lucky enough to have one of the main artists and sort of guys on the team actually be a server member. So he actually, if we just say, can you make us this? He usually just says yes. Yeah,
and this is the giant rock in question that we're talking about that now goes up past height limit. So this was just an ordeal to deal with this thing, which is just this huge kind of great rock, much based on like the ideas of like the thing sculpted out of rock in Jordan, places like that, and obviously a bit of inspiration from places like Australia with Ayers Rock and things like that. So we looked at a lot of different places and a lot of different really cool things. And I've just realised now, sitting down to this, we've never kind of done a retrospect of any of these things. We've done like the creations episodes where we've walked around them, but this is like 3 years on. We built this 3 years ago.
I feel old.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like so much changes and so much happens that it's really nice to kind of just look back and be like, we used to do these really cool things, and now we still do cool things. But I kind of want to revisit this idea. Look how cool this is. Yeah. It's really awesome to look back at.
I think we should do a HD like remaster of every single build.
What? That's the worst. No,
I've dropped the name down now. I wasn't being expecting. No,
the YouTube comments, right? The YouTube comments on this video is gonna be. So when do we get in Mage City HD?
Well, we already did Elvenport 2.0.
We did do 2.0.
So now everyone else is like, so where are the rest of the 2.0s? Where are the next ones?
They're existing in a space that
we're going to do a traditional Valve coming soon.
Yeah, just coming soon.
It'll just never come out.
Yeah. So one thing that I guess this is one of the biggest time lapses at the time of us making this, and we had a lot of ideas of we want to make a town, we want to make a village, we want to make a port, but it was all kind of connected. And you'll see in a couple of time lapses time we do something which is this on a much bigger scale where we kind of spread it all out. But you can kind of see our roots, our ideas of how this is going to turn from this very much segmented city into something much larger, like a kingdom or an entire country. And this right here is inside that giant rock. So this is just a crazy thing. And do you remember the lighting bugs?
I do remember.
Is Minecraft even fixed the lighting bugs yet? No. Someone said no, so no, I think it's no. So
it's because it was all. I mean, you can see on the back walls and stuff there, like the shadowing and stuff. And
I had to run around and get all the chunks loaded, and then save the chunks before moving the camera. Well, I suppose we should talk about that slightly. The camera moving.
I just remembered a great command that we used to do, which was basically whenever we came to like a nighttime part of a shot. We would basically shout torches,
and
then you'd have like the
us on TeamSpeak just going torches,
and then literally team was going, guys, we need torches everywhere, and there's like bodies flying around, and then there would be too many torches, and we wouldn't know where we were building anymore. So
I think that's the thing we get asked a lot is how do you organize these people? You know, because in our time-lapses we have everything from a small group of like 20 people to like 120 people, which is I think how many there is in the next time-lapse after this one.
Well, we used to like lead sort of like a team each back in like the original sort of ones, and then like obviously in the first few it was just us.
It was just us, yeah.
But we ended up kind of really getting elaborate with the whole organization. We would have like 2 different teams, like 1 for each camera, and then they would each have a team leader that would be able to talk to us, and then they would have like an architect guy that would know the styling of the build and be able to help people. And then it was 2 teams per camera.
Do you want to talk about that elephant in the room, which is now gone out of shot? I say that and no one can see me pointing at it. So
you can go back.
In the corner, see, I'll roll back.
We're going to roll back so you can see that.
So you can see. Right, so this is the elephant in the room.
You will never see that build again outside of that shot because we deleted it.
Yeah, it was like this huge, we had this discussion after we finished, we were like, so yeah, we don't like this part, so we're going to build something else there, and then we didn't like that, and then we changed this, and it was this huge, long discussion of, we were like, I want it to look like an Assassin's Creed game where there are all these roofs you can jump over, and then they built a temple, and I was like, well, I don't want a temple there. So
there was a bit, we sort of went back and did a lot of empty space, but the camera had already moved past that point, so we were like, we'll just touch it up and put it in.
And that happens with a lot of our videos, is you'll see things in the final flyovers, which is what these are called, that weren't in the time-lapse, because we have time between me filming these and everyone else finishing the time-lapse part to polish things up.
Yeah, we usually do like the last shot. So in terms of like timescale, like there's usually like weeks or like a couple of months of actually like planning and doing templates and stuff like that, just through different builders on the server and ourselves. And then when we actually get to film days, we do like usually like weekends, and we'll do like a sort of 4 shots or so, which are like an hour, 2 hours sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just because obviously a lot of people have school, work commitments and stuff, so we kind of opened it up to having it on those times. And then, we do like 2 weekends, maybe a few weekdays if you only need like 10 people for a shot. And then there would always be a day layover. So there was like the crunch time team, like just literally working overnight, just trying to get like these last few details done. And the arguments you hear are quite spectacular actually, when you hear people debating on the logistics of having a carpet rather than having a wood flooring, and then really getting quite heated about it, and then you have to come and go, guys,
I remember
it's a floor, it's not even in shot.
At the end of 2011 we did this build for Syndicate. What did we call it? It's blanking out of my head. Someone yell it if you know it. Aquila? There we go. Robbie's yelling Aquila as well. Aquila was this thing, because I always remember it as Fire City. And before we talk about this more, there's the jumping shot. So there are all the people who built, and Phil and I are at the front. That's your old skin.
That is my old skin. I've updated.
I know, right? So let's just move over to another shot here. Like I can just see the recording.
This is a bit nostalgic for me because I haven't actually looked at these videos since sort of they came out.
I know, it's crazy. So we're moving on now to Mage City, which is one of the bigger things. But before we jump into this, let's just finish our previous conversation, which was about Aquila, which is what we built for Syndicate. And it was crazy because there was so many houses in that. We're looking at maybe 200-300 houses. And you led a team to do the interiors.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. It was one of those things like
4 nights I am never claiming back. It was literally like, what do we want in this house? Let's do a chest. Let's do a crafting table. Let's do a bed. And do a furnace. Like, do you not want anything else? Like, no. So and we literally were like, he's not going to go look for all of them, right? You know, surely he's going to look at a few, realize they're kind of all the same.
Yeah.
He went in every single house bar 2. I counted afterwards, and he literally was like, oh, is there anything in here? It's because he found like an item that someone left behind in one, and he's just like, oh, I've got to search them all for loot.
He searched every chest.
A whole episode was just lost on him looking through them.
So we're now moved on here to Leander, City of Mages, which is called Mage City. It's kind of like, you know,
the purple one. Basically.
The purple one, So there are a lot of greys and purples in this, in terms of the color palette, going from the reds and the oranges of Red Rock now into the blues and the purples and the greys. And this had 120 people at its peak building on it.
Yes.
Which was just drastically difficult number of people to deal with.
Yeah. We also, as you can see actually in this one, we kind of made a comment earlier about like the areas and stuff that we sort of did. On this one is where we first sort of experimented actually naming the different districts and areas, because we thought we actually planned this into it when we made the build. Like when we did Rat, we were like, oh, this is like this district and this does that, and then like, you know, we kind of have a bit of a history behind it because.
So what we're looking at, this is 2012, right? I think June 2012 this was.
I think so. Yeah.
So we've gone from like a late 2011 to now a June 2012 build here, and you can already see the details higher, the organization's, you know, different, and in a way we've actually kind of improved our skills over the, you know, the time lapses between that one and this one. And you'll see it again when we jump to the next one, which I think is a 2014 build. I can't remember. We'll talk about it later. But again, you look at the torches, as you were talking about earlier about torches.
Yes. Yeah. We didn't even need torches at that point, but everyone just spammed torches.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But it's really good. Like, we usually try and give everyone like a bit of a guideline when we come to these bits. Like, we usually like we have a bit of a technique which we use, which I suppose I could really talk about. I mean, it's basically we have an invisible web texture.
Well, we're talking about it, everyone. We're giving you a bit of an insight. Behind the scenes.
Oh, there's another good thing as well. We built a wall and people forgot a building was going in there. So before they actually built the building, they had to tear it down again.
Yeah, but we'll go back to that because we haven't really shared it too much, and it's a technique that we do use a lot, and it's different to a lot of other time lapses on YouTube for Minecraft. A lot of them just reverse their shots. So they film it backwards, they film them destroying it, and then they upload that, and that's what a lot of Minecrafters who do time lapses do. We don't do that. We have, but not for the big time lapses.
No, the only ones we think that's
cheating.
Yeah, the only ones we've actually done that for, and it's a really logistical reason on it, is the block by block stuff.
Yeah, some of that.
For that, we don't want to do it live on camera, because if we're doing it live on camera, we feel rushed.
Yeah.
And with a project like that, the goal is to get something that is very accurate.
Yeah, it's recreating a space.
So that's why with that one, it makes more sense to spend a week getting it absolutely right, and then just literally a day of worth of shots actually reversing the footage.
But for these, we use a technique called webbing, where we have the web texture in Minecraft, and we just make it invisible. So all of the walls where people are building, they have like little outlines just to show them where to build, and that's just a web texture where they then go in and they replace that with a block, and then they know that's the shape they have to build. And that's just for some of the bigger things. A lot of the smaller houses and smaller details, we don't have that in there for.
Yeah, we leave that to a lot of free build. Like, we'll sometimes like black out like pathways and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Although the amount of times that the pathway's been one block over, and one team started at one end and one team started at another, they met in the middle and it's not matched up.
Yeah.
And everyone's just gone,
I feel like a lot of the time, I always remember people going, Matt, does that look okay? And I'm like, yeah, sure. It kind of looks okay. We'll go with it. No one will notice. No one ever notices. I've never had like a comment in the YouTube or anything.
Go through it now.
Oh no, people are going to look through it.
You guys are going to have to go through this now. You're going to be looking at every little detail, just like, oh, I spotted that.
But yeah,
we have actually had that. We had one that we didn't even notice, and I saw comments like, in 5 minutes 40, we noticed that you placed this block just in the wrong place over here, and I was like, okay, wow, no. I went back to the build to actually double check, and it was actually there, and I was like,
and no one else knew. It's just one of those things.
So it's crazy what you guys actually notice. It's quite impressive.
The fans, you're crazy. We love you.
Nice save.
There we go. Yeah, I say something a little bit mean and then save it. That's my life. So here we go. We're looking at some more of the stuff. Again, we were talking about earlier how there are all these different districts, and this is again that advancement that I was talking about from Red Rock, where we've got these kind of much more segmented areas. Where there's the farming area, there's like the library area, and there's like the living areas. Then there's this huge big dock that we build as well. And it's such a cool kind of transition from all these things. And you see it even more in the next time after this, where we kind of go even crazier with that. But this is something I really want to talk about, is the floating windmills.
They are amazing.
So this is a design, I believe, everyone at home who's going to watch this, who are with FyreUK, and if I get this wrong, they're going to hate me, but I believe it was Soundblast who designed these.
I'm giving them a moment to rage out as they go, who? What? No, that was me!
There
was a team of people, it was Soundblast and a couple of other people that were sort of the lead on it.
Yeah.
They came with them basically. That's one of my favourite things, by the way, was like, I think mostly we were like, oh, it's mages, so we'll do some ships, we'll do some windmills, and then I think the quote was just like, why don't we just make them floating? I mean, it's magic. I mean, and then they were just like, would that work? And I was like, it's magic. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it was Soundblast who, or at least came up with the idea for those things. Robbie, was it Soundblast?
I'm pretty sure he was, as most of it.
Yeah, he said yes, kind of, and a lot of other things. So, Soundblast was kind of like the leader on this anyway, so we'll give him some credit on that. And the thing about the floating windmills, you'll see them in the cinematic shots later, they're just such a cool idea. Who would have thought about having where the windmill part is detached, and then the middle part where the mill would be like is detached.
It doesn't really make sense when you got a floating thing that is based on actually catching wind.
Yeah, but it moves, and then the magical energies make it all work. It's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
You know?
Yeah.
Gravel falls, but rocks don't.
And this was the other bit we decided very last minute, because we leave a lot of this to free build, and we actually come into the shots, we go in and say like, oh, what kind of builds do we want? Should we have this building? Oh, what building is this going to look like? Someone basically said, let's do a giant magical keg, and just have, all the wizards have, their own little brewery that they have, and it's the only real build.
It's alchemy. It's alchemy.
Alchemy. Yeah.
Alchemy.
So we were like, oh, potions, and they just kind of took that as let's make a bar.
Yeah.
So,
why not? But it's interesting looking at this now. It's been 3 years since we built this going on, and it's kind of interesting to look at it as a thing, because this was one of our, what I refer to as a tentpole time lapse. It's one of our big ones, massive. Loads of people are going to see it, and it's one of those just cool things to look back at and be like, you know what, this is really cool. I know we got better after this, and there are better time lapses after this, but looking at this, this is still easily one of the best, and it's so cool to look back at and see it. I mean, I spent way too long, I think, agonizing over these shots, because I film and edit these, so it's one of those things where I was in there, I was like, right, this is how this shot's going to be, this is how the timing of this is going to be, and again, without the music it doesn't work as well, but for the interest of us talking over it, I have muted it, so
oddly enough, you're going to hear the music all at the weekend because it's all approaching Nirvana stuff. Which is awesome that they're now kind of like, their music is now the Minecon music. I doubt he is, but is Andrew in here?
No, he's asleep somewhere. No, I didn't actually see him this morning.
He is actually here. Pochimano is actually here. So if you do see an Andrew, go tackle him and hug him.
Is he wearing an AN shirt? That's how people might recognize it. He's not. Wow, that's tragic.
So unrepresented. I mean, I can't talk.
You're not even wearing a Fire one, and I am.
It's because I work here.
Yeah, you do. You do work here. Do you want to have a moment where we talk about that?
Okay. Well, actually, I guess to clarify, since we've done this video, like we used to do, we started this pretty much as hobbies.
Yep.
We then started doing it as full-time jobs, and then since then, it's kind of led to me actually getting a full-time job doing other stuff. So I actually work now organizing a lot of stuff, working with other YouTubers and organizing event stuff, which is why
so you've been planning all these things, right?
Why people are probably going to try and run in and steal me off the stage any minute because something's broken or something.
So you've done the schedules for the panels.
I wasn't biased in putting us in this room. I would like to make that very clear right now. I didn't schedule us in here.
Why is that? Why is that bias?
If everyone says like, oh, you should schedule yourself somewhere else. I was like, no.
Why didn't you put us on the main stage?
Because that would be too biased.
There we go. See, that's how the conversation goes.
Plus, everyone would just leave the room.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Who?" That's all I can imagine in my head. Is like that. It's just how I imagine Guardians of the Galaxy. That scene where it's like, "I'm Star-Lord." Who?
We've forgotten that we're on a panel right now.
Yeah. Well, we talk. We're conversational.
This is actually the most time we've actually spent together the whole weekend.
No. I think this is the most time we've ever talked or spent time together for about 3 months.
Yeah.
Because we've both been so busy.
Sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. We've both been so busy.
Now we've had that emotional moment out of the way.
Yeah. But we really, we've been doing this for 5 years. We've been making YouTube videos for 5 years where it's just been, me and you, and then it evolved to this thing where there's this amazing community behind us and we're building these crazy cool things. And now we've kind of even moved further along with that, where the community's kind of doing its own thing. It's building really cool things all the time. Yeah. They've got these weekly contests going on the server, and you're now doing multiplayer stuff. And I'm now doing film stuff, so it's kind of crazy. Look, do you want to talk
about this very fun cinematic title?
Well, in a specific shot I want to talk about that's coming up in very soon, which is where the windmills are going to be moving. I suppose we should talk about. This is us attempting to add a story into the cinematics. So here we go, moving windmill. That is a still shot. So that's a still shot that I animated. And it's this idea I had where I was like, so it'd be pretty cool if the windmills were actually moving. And everyone's like, so how are you going to do that? And I was like, I don't know yet. And it just happened, We managed to make it work thanks to the joys of After Effects.
After Effects.
There you go. It's cool.
It's quite smooth.
I just like looking at it. It's pretty. It's 3 years old, but it's still pretty.
This was actually quite fun for us because it was the first time that we'd added a sort of cinematic element onto the end and did a lot of sort of machinima stuff, which we actually was where we sort of came from originally doing all this stuff. We did a lot of
I suppose we should explain what machinima is for people who don't know what that is. Machinima is in-game film or in-game movie, basically. So it kind of got popularized about maybe 12 years ago by people like Rooster Teeth with Red vs. Blue, which is Halo machinima, and there was a bunch of other things at the time where there was Doom machinimas, there was Marathon machinimas and things like that, where there were all these small kind of films made within video games. And then that's kind of where our background is. I started making like videos in Halo and stuff when I was like really young, and then I kind of met you through Halo 2.
Yeah.
We started doing things together, and then Minecraft came along, and all of this happened.
And we get the movie buzz. I still find it funny that the only reason we actually know each other is because me and a mutual friend had the microphone, and we were the only people in a 16-player lobby that were speaking. If I hadn't had my microphone that day, none of us would be here.
Oh, there we go. That's an interesting
You
thought.
probably would. I just wouldn't be here. You'd probably still be doing it. But no, I really the thing I love about this was it was fun. Always fun coming back to Machinima because like. You just have like all the outtakes and stuff are just hilarious. Like you always have like odd little bits where someone like ends up looking the wrong way or something.
And Minecraft's laggy. Like it's not a smooth movement of the characters. There's always like a little bit of a jump or a little bit of a
the
movement.
bobbing boat. I forgot about the bobbing one.
There we go. So like it's kind of really difficult for us to control a lot of people, especially acting like in this scenario, because these are just people who usually build with us who are like running around as like weird wizards without legs. They've got like weird. I don't know why we chose that. I think I designed these skins. I got like a skin and like changed it up. I don't know why.
I think you had the same skin and then you literally just changed the color to one.
Yeah,
each thing.
you know. So it was adding a little bit of a story into it, which was the start of this adding a little bit of a story. So there's like a yellow one, a red one, a blue one, all these different colors. And they were all meant to meet up, and it was meant to be this really cool thing. But again, I had a deadline to work to. Like, I think I had like a day to do all like these shots because we were releasing the time lapse like the next day. So I was like, right, so I guess I got to do something cool. And then this is kind of what happened.
Sure, that was back in the day where we actually had a schedule.
Yeah, back in the day when we had a.
We had a thing where we would say like every month or it was like every month and a half or so we would always have a tight thing and saying like right this Saturday.
Oh,
thank you.
Water.
Oh, and you spilled out some of it. But hey, thank you. Can we give a round of applause for
Round of applause for water.
Hey. Keep hydrated.
There we go,
guys. Honestly,
it's way too hot. Look at this little globule. This is what I do on panels. I poke water. It's great.
No one can really.
I don't want to sit here and be like overly professional the entire time because I do that 9 to 5 every day. I want to have a conversation sometimes. So, but no, looking at this, it is really cool to kind of look back and see these things and see all these different ideas that we had at the time, especially in 2012 where Minecraft was still evolving. It was changing, new things were being added all the time. We were like, how do we use that in like our time lapses? How do we use that in our builds? And then taking that and kind of expressing it in a really creative, really cool way.
Yeah.
Like, look at these ropes. I think we used fences for like the fishing ropes in the water and stuff like that. It's a really cool idea.
Someone actually I've just remembered now. Someone pointed out a very key element. We have all these like ships that are actually only water-based, right?
I know what you're about to say.
It's in an enclosed canyon with waterfalls around the side.
Yeah, they go up.
Where do the boats?
They go up.
They go up.
They go up. They're magic. They just turn 90 degrees.
You just turn up. Everything falls off the end, and then.
That's logic, right? We can use that logic. It's Minecraft. We've always just said it's Minecraft. But again, the thing is about these shots at the end, they do go on for quite a long time without the music. It's to kind of express, the entire thing as a cinematic, to kind of, stretch out what we've just built as a time lapse and really show it off in a really cool, creative way by doing these really cool camera angles.
It's because they're always like, there's so much little detail that when you're panning around and you're moving so quickly, you do miss quite a lot. You see everything go up so quickly. You see everything kind of like, move around really quickly.
Yeah. So
this is sort of an element of the side of it. So if you can't, if you're not on the server, if you're not able to actually run through it yourself, here's a way of actually having it so that you get to see the majority of it. Is it this bit or is it a nighttime shot? It's a different one.
It's just nice though because we're at this point, especially if we take ourselves back to 2012.
Here we go.
Look at this. It's crazy. We're at this point now with Minecraft where things are kind of coming together. So I thought, let's have the wizards come together and do some sort of cool, sparkly, cool magic, colourful thing. I hate this, by the way. I hate this. I would so do it differently now. Look at, what is that? I don't know what that is. It's a thing in the sky. I was a genius back in 2012, I came up with some great ideas.
And then there's just
sparkles, because why not? Great, right? This has like 1 million views on YouTube. I'm not even kidding.
I think that's such a feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I really like the thought and process, and there are bits like that where like we ran out of ideas.
Well,
what we do, add sparkles.
Sparkles. Right, next, the best time lapse.
Recording, yes.
So this is where things get crazy. We have a new title sequence, which is at the instant, oh my god, things have changed because there's a new title sequence. No, this is where we kind of we're all out, basically. This is hands down our biggest time lapse. It's humongous. It probably takes you, if you wanted to walk around and look at everything a day in Minecraft, you wouldn't be able to do it. This is, the land of Akane. We call it a kingdom. It's very much feudal Japanese styled. It's so huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's ginormous.
The initial pitch for it was basically we were like, oh, we've done cities and stuff like that, but we kind of want to go one step bigger and actually have multiple cities and multiple different styles, rather than all fitting as like, you know, oh, you got the city, so here's the docks, here's that, you know, you've got just a rural village that have a completely different style, and then you have like, you know, your own like royal castle thing, and then a big temple, and it's all separated and it's not all just thrown together for the ease of keeping it in size.
Yeah. So this is a long video, so I think everyone is.
It's got some of the coolest shots that we've done.
Yeah.
They were very ambitious. We then also did send a team through to do interiors. We sent them off, and then 3 weeks later we got a message saying that they were done, and I kind of went, oh wait, you guys were doing that? I completely forgot I'd sent you to do that. Sorry.
It took forever.
And then
we did a creations episode where we walked around it, and we had to make that 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
And even that, we look at maybe a third or even less.
I think we got the most videos out of it. We got the time-lapse itself, we had the creations episode. We also did a very special behind the scenes, because we actually divided the team up into like different people that were managing like and directly building different areas.
Yeah.
This was the really cool shot, and we didn't know if we were actually going to get this done, but we really wanted to do like inside a pagoda and like kind of do a panning shot around as it went up. And it was the most chaotic and rushed thing, because I was literally on there and they're just like, are we still doing this level? And I'm just like, leave it behind, we're out of shot now, we need to build the next bit. So literally, we're going past it. The bits you've just seen still aren't done. They're literally wallless, they're like not done. We had to come back on the second shot. But there's actually a team doing another shot on the other side.
So
there, which you can see
I had two cameras, and there are two users in Minecraft called
you can literally see them on the back left
Mr.
there,
and Miss Timelapse. So one is this laptop, is actually used to film this, and then another is another PC that I have at home. So they were used to film these time lapses, and we had two. So right now, this is the shot that's going on while that previous shot was just happening. So because there's so much happening, and we had so many people, I think there must have been like 40 people on each team. It was a lot of people.
I think we did actually cap it some of the most on this, at like 120 at one point, or like 120 people showed up.
Yeah.
We were expecting like, I mean, we were still expecting 90, but then those extra 30 showed up, and I was kind of like, go in that team, and then like team was like, what we're doing, I'm just like,
I mean, I think this is interesting, especially at this point, because this was this 2013 or 2014?
13, I think.
Was it 13? So we've kind of gone year by year here.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is at this point you can kind of see the way we talk about it. You're very much in the organising and the scheduling of things, which is kind of what you do now for multiplayer.
Yeah,
and I'm very much dealing with the cameras and the editing and everything like that, which is what I do every day now. Yeah, I know, right? This is kind of like the point where I think our kind of destinies were made. Like that. It was meant to be really like philosophical.
I just wanted to leave you hanging on that.
Thanks, cheers. So I think really this is a time lapse it is our biggest still to date.
Yeah.
It's got a city, it's got villages, it's got kingdoms, it's got temples, it's got boats, it's got underwater cities, it's got...
This is actually, we pretty much talked about a lot of it. We're still in the actual first city here.
This is the first like section of it, It's weird and crazy to think about the overall scale of this. But again, let's go talk about colour palettes again, because this is by far the most colourful time lapse. We've got the pink trees in there, like, you know, the blossom trees, we've got the reds for all the roofs, we've got the whites for the windows, and then we've got the wood browns in there for like the other supports and things, which is just really cool to kind of see all of that.
I really liked all the styling and stuff on that transition bit on there.
Yeah, it's all meant to look very Japanese, kind of very oldie worldy, kind of very feudal in that kind of design. And again, I guess we should shout out and talk about the person that kind of came up with this, and it was kind of like his baby in a way.
I guess for a timeline, I can't remember. I think it was February of 2013. I think.
Yeah.
I got approached by two members, Darkness and also Jen, who kind of came up with this sort of initial pitch for like just a long valley, really.
I remember those original
It was just
images.
a long valley on there with like a bunch of just like pagodas and stuff in there, and a really like nice oriental style, and just having the city kind of in the moon. And then obviously, like I said, we expanded that to just spreading that idea over across pretty much a country almost. Yeah. And we literally worked on a bunch of like designs. We started working on terraforming. We started running a few templates. We ran a lot of workshops on our server to kind of get people ready for it. And 7 months later is actually when the video came out, I think. Yeah. Because this took the longest time in filming that we've ever had. I think it took 3.5, 4 weeks. Yeah. It literally almost took a month of actual film days, which... If we had a dedicated team, the whole time, we could have obviously bashed this out in a week.
But we usually only record at weekends because
we only get
people
Fridays,
and
Saturdays, and Sundays. Really, and we only get like a few shots on the Friday and then a few shots because obviously, you got to get everyone there, and obviously with everyone having to be around and building for so long, you don't want to just wear them into the ground. Like everyone else has other things they want to do.
We weren't the geniuses behind any of the names either. That was
No,
all dark.
that was
I think I
dark.
named one of the things, which was the underwater one. I think I named that. Everything else dark named. It's cool that we have these other blocks to play with, though. Again, this was an idea that I think very early on that they kind of came
We
to
looked
you with.
into getting the sort of like the paper sort of walling. There is a term for it. I'm failing at the moment, forgetting it. But we used like all the connecting textures like stuff to actually get it like looking nice and smooth. We got like our own glass ones. We even looked at getting I can't remember what it was. I think it was iron bars connected in a way that they were kind of like sort of like drooping like that. And we're going to have them hanging between pagodas and like have some stuff hang out. But I think that was something we just left because we were like, it's
so this
too
temple
much.
that's being built right now, this is the cliffside temple that Necron, he kind of designed this. Again, there's all these people on our server that I feel like now, because this is a video that's going out on YouTube, I want to call them out. I want to give them that kind of
say, like,
voice.
if you do actually listen on that, we did do a behind the scenes with all the build leaders, and we did something which was kind of weird. We did like almost like with a movie when you do like have the actors or like the producers talking about different elements of like the whole production. We got them to actually come and do it because it was that point where we're kind of like the front of it, but these guys are definitely the ones that are like had the brain.
Actually, interestingly about that video is we got people in a virtual green screen, so they were in their Minecraft skins on a green screen, and then I changed the backgrounds and stuff.
And then we just got them to record audio, and like
some of the audio is terrible as well because these are just kids and people from all around the world. They've just got like either they're on the phone talking or they're on like a headset microphone. They don't even have stuff like this Yeti that is my like kind of throw around microphone that I just bring places with me. They don't have that recording equipment, but it still turned out really good. We managed to get a really cool video of it that kind of expresses the voice of FyreUK in a way, which is not just us, it's all these amazing builders on our server as well.
I mean, that's why we do the jumping shots at the end of like each of the time lapses, because there's no real way to thank everyone that was in there, so we just we put them in there to say like, look, have a jumping shot, your skin is in the video, you guys are in here. And it's because like we do get some server members that come along for like and help out for a half hour of the whole production, but they come in and help at that critical point. Or we get some that are literally only there for the last day, or some that have helped out for all but the last day. And we've actually done it before where like I was actually away for the jumping shot and someone went and changed their skin to mine and actually jumped for me. And then you guys got lazy and built a snowman with my head on it.
Well, that's at the end. Don't ruin the very last video of today. What? I wanted to build you as a snowman. What's wrong with that?
It's fine.
Well, it's better than you not being there at all.
I guess.
Yeah, see? Anyway, so we're on to the underwater section here. This was the very first and still only underwater shot that we ever have done in a time-lapse. Probably for good reason.
It was very like everyone else couldn't see. The camera could see because we rigged it, but everyone else was just going around like, where's the build? I can't
You ready?
see it.
You're waiting for it. It's about to happen. So this is the first and still only underwater shot that FyreUK has done. Boom. So this is a time lapse. We're building this ruined underwater city. This section of it, is dilapidated. It's crumbled and fallen down. And see how cool that is. They went through a building that was being built.
That's another. I don't know if you've actually got one in there that has this shot, but we have had it before where we usually have someone standing behind the cameras, like just because Matt sets them to automatically run and do the camera shots. We have someone to sort of oversee and say like, okay, no, stay away, don't fly in front of the camera, don't ruin the shot, kind of thing. And then we literally get one on sometimes like, Matt, the camera's going to go into the building. Matt, what do I do? Matt, the camera's going to go into the building. And then it builds up this thing. We literally have to get people standing around, not on camera, and not nudging it to kind of like break blocks as they're going through. And like, okay, can she get through? Okay, no.
I like how we call it she. We call the camera a she.
We do.
Because it's missed time lapse. We like it has a personality of its own. It's weird.
Why have we done
that?
It's your alter egos though.
It's not my alter egos. I don't have
you control all accounts, and you've actually had conversations, have you not?
Yeah, I have
between the multiple accounts.
But no one knows this. Why are you telling people? I'm not that. Well, I'm pretty weird. Okay. Anyway, so now
moving on.
This is the first, and again, now there's two of these, but this was like a time lapse of firsts. I'm just realizing this was a 3-hour shot. Now, a 3-hour shot in its concept already sounds crazy.
So, what would actually be even more fair? How, for the shots we normally get, what sort of size are we talking footage-wise?
So, like a normal shot is like maybe 20 to 30 gig, right? This was, I think, this shot by itself in raw, like huge image size was nearly a terabyte in size, just this one shot.
What was the final stat? Because we were two cameras for 3 weeks.
18.2 terabytes of footage for this time lapse. I have a lot of storage space.
And before we ask, we do know there are other ways of doing it, but
We want to record it how
throwing a
high
stat
quality.
like that around is quite fun.
It is
so.
fun, but I want to have the most quality possible because I like punching in on shots, which means like zooming in, getting reframing them later.
So we record it in full 1080.
Sometimes higher than
everything.
1080, sometimes 1440p, sometimes like even above that, just to get as much definition as possible. But yeah, mostly 1080p.
Yeah.
And this shot, like I said, 3 hours long, sped up to what is about, I think it's about a minute and a half that we're talking over it here, and it's just beautiful. This temple is just a kind of a craft of love from people like Soundblast, people like Killer. They worked and they built on this temple, and it turned out amazing. I really like that kind of like cutaway shot where you just kind of see the top of the roof being finished.
I think literally it's like we screw ourselves over because I mean you can see that the water there, it just cuts off so quickly, and we always like want to try and get it, like we have to really mess around with the actual camera coming back, like and stuff like that, because we almost have to reverse the shots of when it actually loads in and when it doesn't. This was actually another one we took from Major the Wake. Like we also did like a lot of acting and
but I brought the black bars in so it looks a little bit more cinematic, and we used the shader, which makes it look pretty nice but a little bit laggy, because this is in the day where shaders were just starting to become a thing, so they're not like the most like perfect of things, and this is an okay shader. I don't really like what it does to the water, but it looks pretty good. And I guess we were talking earlier about all the different videos we got out of this, and you said the time-lapse creations and the behind the scene, the closer look video. I also filmed a short story in this called Seasons Alone, which I wrote and directed in a day, and then got this American actress to actually record the voiceover for. And so it was literally like, wrote the script for it at like midnight after watching this anime that I really liked. Next day I filmed it, and then I got this voice actress to do it, and it just turned into this amazing short little thing that like Lydia from Mojang tweeted out and stuff like that, and it just kind of got crazy that people like resonated with this short little story that I'd written, and we just used this, we used this. We used the set
that was already there, and I think that's what's really like after we kind of did that and we realized that it became quite popular. It was something that we really wanted to like try and achieve in everything that we did, because once we've done these actual builds, in all honesty, they kind of sit there. And so it's trying to like, we were just like, well, we can do other videos on them, we can try and like, get some more life out of it, because, this one video, everyone will watch it once, but it's like, we need to do a little bit more. There's so many other elements of this we can explore. Yeah. I do also love the fact that we use the same 8 characters and like on every single shot, just in an effort to try and...
Well, at times like this...
This one was so annoying, I remember, because it was literally to say like, okay, you're going out of this shot, you're planting this flower, you're going over here, and then every time we did it, someone would just kind of turn around and run into the camera and we have to reset. This one I like as well. I think there's actually someone screaming for help. I don't know if we just...
it's on one of the
we
back
trapped someone
pagodas.
in a room just to say, I think we missed it, but...
Yeah, they're all kind of hidden away. Everything happens so quick because you have to kind of match it to the music and stuff, so it kind of all passes by. But it just looks really lush, which is one thing that I really like, is like there's just so many like trees in there now. Things have like overgrown in some places, some parts have been like kept really clean, and it looks almost like a real place. I mean, it looks way too, I guess, fantasy-based to be a real place, but it's just so cool to see it all kind of come together. And there's this huge temple kind of sitting in the middle of this lake, and it's just really, really cool to see, how big this thing is. And like I said, it's the now only second, we've done it twice now, but that 3-hour shot is something that I keep thinking back to. I've been like...
I'd love to have a proper like 3D model of that, just like sitting somewhere. Like we should...
That'd be really cool. You could do like 3D print, like Minecraft things, right?
Yeah, but I think if we actually put it into scale, it's going to like...
Would be like bigger than this room.
Yeah, that's going to be so expensive.
Oh well. No, maybe someone will just do it out of the goodness of their heart, and they'll just give us them.
No.
Okay. Right.
I mean, unless anyone does want to volunteer that kind of thing.
And here we are. This is everyone. You can actually see Mr. Time-lapse right in between us as well. That's one of the cameras. And then that's...
Matt, that's setting fire to himself.
Yeah, because, why not? All right, so on to another one here. Let's take a look. We're almost like halfway through the shots that I want to talk about in the videos here. So we're going to take a look at something very different here in terms of styling and in terms of overall like genre theme. This was in Sci-Fi Week. So for a week on our channel, we played different sci-fi games, and we ended it off with a really big sci-fi time-lapse. Now we're looking at, I think this is like end of 2012, so we're kind of going backwards a little bit here.
Yeah, I think we did this one before, but this was by far the most fun that I had. Because
Space Gardens. I just wanted to say it really quickly, because Space Gardens, if anyone tries to make that work in your head, and Phil got so angry about Space Gardens.
We had a housing asteroid, and someone was making a house with a garden, and I was just like, okay, so it's a garden, yeah? And they're just like, yeah, well, I mean, this looks really nice. I'm like, so how do the flowers get oxygen? And they're just like, well, oh.
Yep.
And I was like, So yeah, I mean, unless it's got like a dome on it, so I had to go get into put domes and stuff, and they were just like, oh, but does it really need it? I was like, yes.
I think out of everything we've done, this is probably the thing to talk about.
Space helicopters.
Oh, there was space helicopters. How does that even make sense?
Helicopters don't work in zero gravity.
It doesn't work. So
that didn't stop someone from trying.
No. So this is Minecraft. It doesn't look like it.
No. We literally created a void world and had an amazing sky texture that we locked in to literally go all around, and we got some of the most amazing shots that I think we've ever had.
It just doesn't look like Minecraft. I know it is, but because of the texture pack and because of the skybox and everything, it looks so different. And this just shows like how you can change Minecraft to kind of look so unique and look so different.
Yeah.
And it even like on Xbox, there's these texture packs and stuff now that you can change the game with, and that's so cool.
Yeah. That was the other thing we kind of branched it. Like we realized we had to really break away from DokaCraft on this and make it a whole other texture pack, because DokaCraft is in its essence, fantasy based. So we were like, oh, we'll bring it to space, and we just really had to change it around again. But it was a lot of fun. We literally got to kind of push away from everything we do normally and come up with some really cool ideas. We changed like ice to being all the windows. So we had like orange one, so it was like a very kind of discolored.
I mean, we're big fans of sci-fi, so we kind of took kind of inspiration from a lot of that stuff. Everything from like Star Wars to Halo to all that kind of stuff. I like the little graphics at the bottom are pretty cool actually. I'm like looking back, I'm like, they aren't too bad actually.
Okay.
They look pretty good. All right, thanks. Just patting my own back, but
But yeah, I love the whole idea of this. Like, I absolutely adore space stations and stuff like that as just a concept design, because each of them are just so like unique and they all kind of come from the same thing. But it's making stuff like that to me. It just really looks awesome.
And again, like I said, it doesn't look like Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's so cool that we managed to build this.
And break it away from it.
And take it kind of something that's a little bit away from that. And we had this idea for a while. I remember we were talking about this for months before, and we're like, do you think we can do it? Do you think we can actually,
we went
build
through quite a few
like
ideas originally. Like the two guys who were originally helping us out with this. Like this is like we went for the asteroid complex thing because we realized the first idea was eventually going to become too much to actually handle. But we were going to do one singular massive space station, kind of a lot like.
And that is still in there. It's at the end. It's like the big thing at the end. Yeah.
Like it was going to literally just be one huge cylindrical thing. We were going to go up for the middle and stuff like that. But then we realized just the scale of that, it just wasn't going to work for the actual shots. So then, we came along with this idea.
I think the difficulty with this is the chunks in Minecraft.
Well,
because
in a way,
it's space,
it also
so you
helps
should be able to
because
see.
it is space, so it almost like if it does break away, you don't notice that it breaks away because when it deloads, you don't really. I mean, you only really notice in the last few shots. But I think this was the space garden area.
This is Space Gardens.
That became like a running joke in the community.
I just remember it because
we
filmed this.
Hey Phil, what? Space Garden.
I still remember it now. Someone brought it up not long ago. It's crazy that people still remember that.
And someone wanted a waterfall as well.
In space?
In space.
Wow, it wouldn't work. So the idea of that, that one space station thing still kind of works at the end of this video because we build a city.
Yeah.
But building a city in space sounds kind of weird because we always build cities and things. But we had this idea, I found this like rough concept and then kind of built out of it of this two kind of pronged thing that came out, and it was a big like communication array like built on the front of a sea. And that idea kind of spun off a lot of other kind of asteroids that had their own meaning.
Yeah.
So like there's all these ones that are industrial and there's ones for residential, and originally that wasn't there. There was always just going to be, we'll just build some things on an asteroid, but we kind of very much divided this complex of asteroids to do different things. And we have these things called gravity tethers, which are these walkways between all the asteroids that would keep them within the same gravitational thing. It's very nerdy and very sci-fi to think about, but it's very cool.
This was the most fun asteroid, I think, because the rest of them, like we said, had very clear things. And then on that one, we were like, do a bit of free build, just do something military. Someone just built a giant robot just standing on the asteroid.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that.
I always remember a guy who came on every single day from Australia, and it was like 4 a.m. for him. And he would come on every single day just to build on this stuff. And I think that's really cool that we have these people from all over the place who just want to come on and build. I think it's really awesome.
There were some as well that were staying at, we were like, we're starting at 6 what time? And then he was just like, it's 3 a.m. And like, I just stayed up, I've got school tomorrow. And I'm just like,
this is my favourite bit. This is my favourite bit, Phil. So this is the hangar I designed.
Yes. Do you want to explain what it's inspired from?
It's a huge hangar, and it's inspired from the very first Halo game. In the first ship that you arrive to Halo in is called the Pillar of Autumn, and you have this hangar bay. You see it at the beginning, and you also leave at the end of the game. You see it there as well, and it's this very kind of angled structure, and it's not like straight like a normal hanger would look like. So I kind of rebuilt that in Minecraft and added my own twist on it, and we kind of went crazy with it.
And this is the only shot you'll see me AFK in
Oh
front
yeah,
of the camera.
you're stood like
I'm
in the
stood.
shot
You'll
somewhere.
see me. I think around
towards
about
the
here.
end. No, it's towards the end a little bit more.
I will defend myself on this in thinking that someone told me the camera was going forward, not going backwards.
So you just stood at
so
the
I
back.
stood, I was like, okay, I'm not going to pass in front of the camera, someone will like move me away, and then where am I?
It'll be in a second. But I do love this as a shot. Like you can see like all these little fighter planes being built and stuff, like these that would go out into space and stuff. I think it's just so cool. This is you right now there. You can't really see you because you kind of blend in, but you're there. That's you.
That's nice.
Good job. Thanks for being in the video, Phil.
I wanted to make sure that I was included.
Yeah, there we go. So this is the big city that we built at the end. This had so many issues with the lighting.
We had to restart this actually because
you can see now the blocks are kind of lagging in, and it's because the lighting.
The footage, like the lighting itself, just caused so many issues. Again, we shoot ourselves in the foot quite a lot when we do these sort of things because we kind of think of these big, awesome things, and then we kind of remember that we're really pushing the game to its limit, especially with these versions as well. Like these are quite a few versions ago actually. Like
we're talking like maybe just after release here.
Yeah, I mean we started filming them all way back in beta.
Alpha, maybe like late alpha, early beta. We were recording things in.
But yeah, we literally this was one of the cooler things we did. But even this took 3 nights, I think, of filming.
Yeah. This is huge. It doesn't really look it because you're looking at it from above, but there's so much scale to this and there's so much going on that you don't really know. But this is a kind of a lower city and an upper city complex. But we wanted to go very futuristic with it. So we wanted to build these kind of skyscrapers and kind of merge them together and do all these different things. And I think the scale of that is just so cool. This is a huge asteroid that this thing is kind of like sticking out of, and it just looks really cool. And I really
and we just kept building it back and back and
so
back. So
there's a little bit of a story we can talk about this back section about a certain griefer. I suppose we rarely talk about griefers.
Yeah. Was there 2 or was there 1?
I think I remember one
you
specifically.
Had 1.
Yeah. So if people don't know what griefers are, maybe some of you don't, they're people who go in and just try to wreck things, they try to break things, or they try to make things not work. And this guy just poured lava over something, I think he put it. Oh, hang on, wait, go back.
Wait, literally in that bottom corner.
In the bottom corner.
Someone wrote LOL in the bottom corner, so there's like...
Where is it?
It's sort of like on the platform bit, on the open bit.
We're going to get it. No, there. Yeah,
literally for a split second, someone was just writing it, and I got a call for it's like, is someone supposed to be writing
LOL. Yeah, you can just see it.
And I was just like, no, get down there quick. And we literally
yeah, that's great.
We had 4 moderators that just brought down the ban hammer so quickly.
Poor guy.
It wasn't a permanent ban. We literally banned it for I think 2 days just for a sort of don't mess up the shots.
Yeah, don't be weird.
But yeah, he was literally over there so quick, ban, and we had to quick destroy.
I completely forgot about these shots. These are crazy. Like these kind of like cinematic kind of things.
You see it all loading in as well.
Yeah. It's really cool. I love these cinematics at the end because it kind of captures that overall feel that we wanted to get.
Yeah, you really get to kind of bring it alive. Like you see it getting built, but this is when you actually get to put some characteristics.
And there's other ships in here now. Now we've had a little bit of time to polish it, so we've gone in, we've added a kind of really cool little ships, and there's all everything's kind of got everything in it, so that all the interiors are done. They're in a dome, so they would work.
I'm just thinking because it is 10:02. And we did want to do a bit of a Q&A.
We did, yeah.
I would like to get that rolling now.
So instead of rolling this any longer, I'm going to roll another time-lapse that's really recent, and you guys can watch that while we take some Q&A. So this is a Christmas time-lapse that I'm going to roll.
I think we're going to have some runners kind of going around with microphones. I believe that is the way. I'm literally trying to look out for someone, but I can't see anything right now. Do we have volunteers running around with microphones? There's microphones.
There's mics over there. If anyone wants to go grab them.
I will run around.
Well, you're going to run around and...
Oh, no, I see someone running.
Someone's running. So, I'll talk about this while you sort this out.
Once they go microphones, which you will have in a second.
So, this looks like a nice...
Hold up your hand, and we'll try and get through as many as you can. Or flag. Flag works.
A flag works, yeah, that's great. So, this shot right here is from the latest, one of our latest Christmas time-lapses. I'll let you guys watch this while we answer some questions here for the last 10 minutes.
Cool. Nice. See, that's where you get your first questions, because you brought a flag with you.
Hi.
I was wondering, what kind of program do you use to control the camera?
Okay, yeah, so that's a mod in Minecraft called Camera Studio or Cam Studio. It's a really, really great mod, a guy called Shushan. He designs it and kind of builds it and programs it. Hey, there's a pig on the screen right now. So What it is basically you get to place points within Minecraft, and then you basically create a Bezier curve from that, and then that Bezier curve kind of sweeps around, and you get to kind of control where the camera goes, and you also get to choose how long that shot is. So say if I want to record like a really quick cinematic, 20s is 20 seconds.
Yeah.
But say if I need to do a 90 minutes, that's 90m, or 3 hours is 3h, and then that literally goes through, and then I just record that. But it's a really, really great thing. He was almost not going to make it anymore. At 1.7, I think he just said, I'm kind of done. And then he kind of, I guess, got a second wind, and he's just recently updated it to 1.8, so that's really good. But it's an awesome mod. If people haven't tried it out, it's Cam Studio. There's some great videos on YouTube of explaining how to use it as well. Some
he really is undercredited on it because we had so many broken ways of doing it. We originally had lines of cobweb which were invisible, and we just held down a thing with a sword.
Yeah, if you right click with the sword, and you block and it slows you down, and then if you move through cobweb, that also slows you down. So then I would blue tack my W key down, and then that's how we used to get camera shots before.
We were very, very grateful when we got that out.
Yeah, it was great. Next question? I'll let you pick, Phil.
I'll let whichever volunteers picked one.
Okay, so when is the time service for when you record these time lapses?
What was the first bit of that, sorry?
Say that again?
When is if you are currently working on a project, when is the time you're doing it? In which time zone?
Oh, time zone.
Time zone. We try and catch like most.
It's all in English time, right?
It's almost English. We usually try and run from sort of around anywhere from kind of like 6 p.m. through to like, I guess we normally kind of really cut off at like 10 or 11. Yeah. It's like the later shots that we go to. That way we usually catch most of like the American time zones kind of waking up.
But that's with filming. Like with all the other production stuff we do, it can be at any time of the day. Like
usually like because we've got like projects in LOL Fire.
Hey, look, the LOL came back.
Yay. You love it when the build team just say, hey, we're just going to do this because we're really funny, and then you've already filmed it and you're like, well, I guess that's sticking in now.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what servers, like what kind of hardware are you running on?
Yeah, so literally it's just, for the main FyreUK server, I just run that all off a Linux box, which is like Xeon based. It has like, I think it's got 64 gig of RAM, and I basically just run the main server off that. I use Unix codes to kind of set it all up and everything like that. So it's all, and the thing is with the Linux, is it's just so like lightweight. That's why I love it. I see I'm getting a thumbs up because see, I clearly know what I'm talking about. No, it's
also in France as well. So.
It is, yeah. It's in France, the server, so it's not like super local, but it's close enough that the ping isn't too bad and things like that. So it's really, really good, and I absolutely love it. I couldn't fault the server in any way. I think it's really good. Everyone else,
I know some of the builders will, but that's their own fault because they try and do world edits that actually crash the server, and then they're like, oh, this should be fine, and then it goes down, and they're like, oh, what happened?
And they blame me, and I'm like, well, it's not my fault you crashed the server. But there is some things now that are out, I think with like Sponge and Spigot and stuff, there's some new things coming out where for servers where we can actually stop that happening. Yeah. And I think that's going to be really good for creative builders to kind of, turn that down a little bit, and so that we're not going to crash it so much, because crashing a server is like the worst. So
you always get messages and it's always your fault.
Zelda reference on the screen right now. I love Zelda. It's awesome. All right, next question.
How do you get all these ideas?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, how do we get hold of the ideas? Sorry, that guy over there just held up a sign that said me, and it was like in bright light, so it just completely dazzled me. So yeah, how do we get our ideas? It's either us or one of our leaders comes with us.
It's a mixture of things. Either we'll spot something really cool art-wise, usually for like DeviantArt or something like that, or we browse for a wallpaper for our backgrounds and we see something cool, like we should build this. Or like a new movie will come out, or like we're recently reading something, watching anime or something like that. It's basically we absorb like all the media stuff that we're kind of watching and involved with, or if we're playing games and stuff, and then we just kind of take it from there. Really, we build upon it, throw the ideas with a big team, see what's possible, and then hopefully not too long after we actually get like a really cool project.
I mean, this as an idea is crazy. This time that's playing right now, we did this for Christmas 2014.
We had
and it's this
2 weeks?
Yeah, we had 2 weeks to make this, and it's this huge store. So it's this huge, like, almost like Victorian store that's modernized with like new things in there, and we wanted to put Minecraft in there as well as loads of other really cool things. But the scale of this is ginormous. It goes from the very bottom to the very top. This is a Minecraft. This is like the Minecraft shelf right here. So we have like some figures. We've got the official books in there.
Handbooks over there.
Come see the a official construction handbook panel in this room at 4:30. We'll be doing another panel then. It's going to be way more informative than I think this one was, because we've actually got a presentation for that.
We actually wrote things down in a book that you can actually read. So
yeah, if anyone's actually seen the official books, they're actually here as well in the expo hall, Egmont are here. The blue one is fully written by us, and then we've also helped with all the other ones. So that's awesome books, and we managed to sneak them in.
I love the toys.
It's great. So I think we can have like 2 more questions maybe if we talk
quick fire.
Do you ever let people download these or say do what they want?
We have some, don't we?
We've had let a couple down for download. We did the Remnant Hunger Games one. I think
this is available for download.
This is actually available for download as well. We gave that out as a sort of Christmas present.
Yeah.
Out to everyone because we actually managed to get it finished on time for Christmas. So we thought, let's just throw that out.
And that's all on, I guess I should say, if you ever want to see what we have that is downloadable, Planet Minecraft, it's called, I think we're called The Official FyreUK or Official FyreUK, because there was so many fake accounts before I set up a thing. I had to talk to one of the admins of Planet Minecraft, and he's like, he keeps Skyping me, he's like, is this you? And I'm like, no. And he's like, are you ever going to make a proper just Planet Minecraft account? I was like, I'll just do it now.
They really forced you into it because they were just fed up of having fake accounts. They're like, Matt, make one, please.
And it was like people who had like tried to copy some of our builds, so it was like little parts of our build that they'd uploaded and it wasn't quite right. And I was like, well, it's kind of like copyright infringement in a way. They're like stealing our stuff, but we got rid of them, and we're officially on there now. So you can find us on Planet Minecraft and download some. I think there's about 5 or 6 downloads on there. So yeah, one more final question.
Have you ever thought about using like mods that add building blocks?
I think that would be really cool.
We did look at actually doing. We sort of concepted a little while ago for having a build series where we're actually going to build with like modded things. I guess it just became down to a case of looking for which actual mods we wanted to use, like updating versions so it all fit in, because obviously we're very much locked in with the actual camera mod. Well, we were locked in at the time. Yeah. I think we're now obviously got a lot more options, but with mods being on so many different versions, it was, what's it go? I mean, I looked at I was messing around with like Traincraft, and I was like, it'd be so cool to have actual trains in an actual like train station thing that we do, and like it's that kind of stuff, like adding just a little bit of
that's kind of a hint at what we're working on next.
Well, it wasn't until you said it.
Well, I just let everyone in on a secret on what the next time lapse is.
There you go. You can have that as an exclusive. We might be working on something.
Wow, descriptive. Great. That was amazing. Perfect.
Coming soon.
So in these boxes that we just panned down there, there's like a bunch of like Yogscast references, and there's like you and I in there. And that's really cool. There's some like retro games in here. There's an N64 and stuff like that. And we managed to just sneak a bunch. We
literally just threw in a bunch of toys and just told people to make toys and references.
So
I think we've got time for one more quick one.
Have we got one more?
We can do one quick fire.
Shall we ask the guy that hands up the me?
Can we get the guy with the me sign? There's
a guy who has a sign that says me on it. That's really bright light. So hold it up again.
There we go.
There we go, look, it's great. That's the best way to get someone's attention, just a bright light.
Hi, I just wondered if you had any background in art and design, whether at school or college yourself, before you started?
I had crayons as a child. Matt is the one that actually had a bit of an actual thing in.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about that. Yeah, but me,
I don't have long, but yeah, I have a background in like 3D modeling, video design, and motion graphics and things like that. So I've kind of got that background, and I started doing 3D modeling and environment art when I was 11. I started doing that for mod teams, and then from that I've kind of moved on and done loads of different things. I'm going to pause this right here when I finish building it, because that's Phil. Wait, there he is. That's Phil as a snowman. So there we go. Yay! Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you.